While the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, is struggling with what the global economy calls the Great Lockdown, it expects the world to face the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression since the 1930s. They expect the global economy to shrink by 3% in 2020, which is much worse than the 0.1% contraction seen during the 2008 and 2009 Great Recession. The IMF's April 2020 World Economic Outlook report is partly in a basic scenario, assuming that the pandemic disappeared in the second half of 2020 and that environmental efforts could be resolved gradually. With the help of policy support, the global economy is projected to grow by 5.8% in 2021 as economic activity normalizes. However, risks are also important for more serious results. In the same report, IMF Chief Economist Gita Gopinath said it is very likely that this year the global economy will experience its worst recession since the Great Depression, surpassing what was seen 10 years ago during the global financial crisis. He described the current COVID-19 crisis as a major crash and recently told reporters that this is a crisis unprecedented. He expects the total cost of global GDP to be $9 trillion in just 2020. According to the collapse of the IMF, the Canadian economy is expected to be more adversely affected than the United States or Japan economies, which expect only a 5.9% contraction. On the other hand, 19 European countries in the Eurozone are expected to be united. Britain is expected to decrease by 6.2%. Despite all these disadvantages, the IMF expects China to expand its economy by 1.2% as the economy is slowly opening up. The world is facing an unprecedented event. No one knows what to expect or when a real solution to COVID-19 can be found or a vaccine has been created. Meanwhile, other organizations following the economies have issued warnings for global contractions. These include the World Trade Organization, which reports that it expects a 13% to 32% reduction in global economic output, the effect of which they expect to be felt for a long time. Goldman Sachs also believes that developed economies shrank by 35% in the second quarter of 2020, although their belief is that they see a reduction in total coronavirus cases narrowing worldwide. Their belief is that this narrowing in total cases is based on imposed isolation and social removal orders. Recovery is probably a direct consequence of social distance and decline in economic activity and can quickly reverse when people return to work, says the firm's economist John Hatzus said. Currency pairs move up or down according to traders' expectations of how an economy will be fared to another. As countries around the world begin to report their efforts to control the coronavirus and its citizens and protect their citizens through the Great Lockdown, be wary of quick movements or unexpected directional changes. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.